Hi everybody, Charlie Carnaccio along with Ken Mann from Freedom Financial Solutions. We are back with another episode. Last week we talked about tax preparation, that it's never too early to prepare your taxes. But let's clarify one thing, because if people go to a tax preparer, that's really, a lot of people might confuse the issue, that's really not an accountant, so to speak.
Well, it could be. I mean, I want to clarify just a couple of terms. And the first thing is, there's bookkeepers, there's tax preparers, and there's accountants. So what does a bookkeeper do? A bookkeeper is that hands-on person who's doing your day-to-day data entry into an accounting system such as QuickBooks. A tax preparer is someone who takes that information as well as your W-2s and items from your, if you own a house, real estate taxes, and they'll create a tax return out of that. An accountant is someone who can interpret the numbers behind the profit and loss, the balance sheet that comes out of QuickBooks, and actually give kind of counsel and advice to an individual or a business owner on how to process things. So it's important to realize that all accountants don't actually prepare taxes, and all tax preparers are not accountants. There are accountants who do tax preparation, there are accountants who don't do tax preparation. And just because someone does tax preparation, they may be very good at mechanically producing a tax return, but they can't interpret the numbers in a profit and loss and balance sheet to give advice to a business owner. So it's important to know what you're looking for in the service provider that you're getting. If you're looking for someone to just do data entry in your books, a bookkeeper can handle that. If you're looking for someone to give you advice on how to grow your business and grow your profitability or reduce your expenses, you're going to want to talk to an accountant for that.
All right, so we're talking about QuickBooks, and there are different versions of QuickBooks, and there's the cloud now and online options for different software. When we talk about QuickBooks as a desktop performer or as an online performer, what are the differences and what's better?
Yeah, that's a very open-ended question. So obviously today Intuit is pushing their cloud technology called QuickBooks Online. There's a big move in cloud accounting, and other competitors are coming up such as Xero and FreshBooks. So it's a wide open industry and everybody's trying to rush to the cloud. QuickBooks Desktop has been around probably longer than you and me. Right? It's a dinosaur in the industry, but it also has a humongous track record and a lot of longevity. So the differences you have to consider are many, and one is not necessarily better than the other. My approach is always first understand what the client needs and then recommend the proper solution for the client. Other people out there say, all I do is support desktop and I'm going to make you work on desktop, or all I do is support online, I'm going to make you be on online. I have a mix of clients between both desktop and online. So what are some of the pros and cons? So the desktop, you buy one version, and that version is good and supported by Intuit for 3 years. So for maybe $200, you can buy QuickBooks Pro if you shop around, and you'll have that for 3 years. QuickBooks Online is a monthly subscription. So if you purchase QuickBooks Online, it may cost you $30 a month, for example, so you're paying that every month for those same 3 years. That's $900 compared to $200. So from a cost point of view, QuickBooks Online can be much more expensive than QuickBooks Desktop. In addition, QuickBooks Desktop, you can have as many file companies as you want, whereas on online, every company file is an additional charge. So now if you want to run 3 company files in QuickBooks, instead of $900, it's $2,700 for 3 years, while it's still $200 on the desktop version. So from a cost point of view, QuickBooks Desktop is still by far going to be a better solution. In terms of functionality, QuickBooks Desktop is a much more mature program, so there's much more functionality there. Now the online version is being updated over and over and over very rapidly, and the functionality is starting to catch up, but I figure it's at least 2 years right now in 2016 behind the desktop version. It's going to take a while for it to catch up. The benefit of being in the cloud is there are lots of apps that are being developed around QuickBooks Online, and so some of that missing functionality, you can purchase another app to bring that functionality into QuickBooks Online. So now you're not only just paying for QuickBooks Online, but you may also have a $10, $20, $30 monthly fee to the other app in order to get the functionality that's in desktop, and continuing to increase the cost. Another factor to consider on desktop versus online is desktop, it's right on your computer, so when you press your enter key, it's an immediate response. If you go online, it's got to go up to the cloud and come back down, refresh your browser window. By default, that is going to be a slower transaction always than the desktop version. Another problem with the online version is the windows if you have multiple windows open in your browser, they don't automatically refresh. So if you do a transaction in window 1, you have to then go and refresh window 2, window 3, window 4, window 5. Whereas on the desktop version, you change it in window 1, everything gets automatically updated. So there's a lot of inherent slowness in the online version compared to the desktop version. Now the flip side, the online, why it could be good for somebody is you have access to your file anywhere, anytime. If you're like a landscaper and you're going out to a client, you can pull out your tablet, you can do your invoice right there, email it to them on the spot, and there's a lot of benefit and speed from that point of view for someone. So there are some benefits to the online version, and if it's worth the cost to have those benefits, then we're going to recommend the online version to our clients. I think, as I mentioned in the last episode, about 25% of our clients are still are actually on QuickBooks Online because it was the right solution for them, even with all those other issues that I've brought up between the two.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of personal preference.
Well, it is, and one other issue that really concerns me personally is that who owns your data? If you're in QuickBooks Desktop, it's on your computer, you access it, you own it. If it's in the cloud, you can only access it when you log on to their system. So if the system goes down, you can't access your data. If for some reason you decide that you want to close your business, you've lost access to your data. So there's a lot of other ownership issues that personally concern me. I like to have control of my most important financial information for my business and not trust somebody else. Other people might not have that concern. That's personal concern for me.
Okay. Good information, good advice. And if you're going out to purchase QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks as a desktop, now you've got a little bit more information to become a more educated consumer. That will do it for this edition. We will see you next time.